Well, good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. I'm hoping today's going to be part 2 of the electrical work here, the electrical rough-in. And the good news today, I don't think I'm going to have to spend a lot of time up top side there. So that excites me, because yesterday, as you know, it was just ripping hot up there. So I'm hoping today that we've got the wires pulled in here we need to do. Later or another day, maybe after we get back from the city on Wednesday, I'll go ahead and go up top side and put the light fixture in for the closet light. As you know, we're putting a closet light in where there wasn't one before on a switch, so that'll be really nice. We might as well upgrade while we're at it. So I'll show you where we left off yesterday, just to give you an idea of where we stand. I have no power coming in here at all. I like to work safely. You know, sometimes I've worked hot in the past, I haven't had a problem, but there's no reason to today when you're doing rough-in electric. There's no reason at all to be hooked down to the circuit breaker box and energized. That'll come later when we test everything. So stick with me today. I'm hoping it's going to be an easy, fast day and get a lot of this stuff knocked out so we can move on to the finishing up the shower. I'm happy to announce that big glass block, the 1 foot by 4 foot window came in, so got to think about that for the future too. Okay, thanks so much for being here, and give me a second, I'll get the camera shifted over and I'll show you what we got. Okay, yesterday, as you know, we pulled 2 new wires for the over here. We're going to put some can recessed lights, and I did pick up the 5-inch lights, and they're recommended for damp locations. I never expect to have water up in that area, but you may have dampness, so it's nice to have some fixtures that also will maintain their integrity in a damp environment. Also, they're insulation contact IC rated, which means if they come in contact with the insulation, that schmutz upstairs we call insulation, they won't trigger a fire, so they're sort of an insulated body. But I always sort of put some blocking up there to keep the insulation away from the light bays, just to be safe, and I'll show you that on a future upload. We also put the fixture for the vanity light up there, as you can see. I like to have a nice high vanity light over top of the bathroom, over top of the bathroom mirror. We'll be buying the new medicine cabinet. We've got the GFI ready to go here. We'll be putting the socket in there today. That's all ready to go. That's on a dedicated branch from the junction box. We can't have it with lights behind it and all that, because if the GFI trips, all the load downstream from it trips too. So we can't have that. We want to make sure that the power goes off, that the lights don't go off in the bathroom, presenting a dangerous situation. So our junction box is all done. We have the closet being fed over here so that we can operate that switch, and we got the hot coming down here to fire this. We have all of our up feeds behind for all of our wiring that runs to our different. We're going to have the vanity light, the one single room light behind it to sort of offset and balance the light by the vanity. Here we have our hot feed, then we have the shower light, and we have the fan. The shower light and the fan will be on separate switches, and we will combine the vanity and the room light to come on for lighting balance. So a lot of people think when you hook up switches that you're just supposed to put the white on the bottom and the white and the you know, either black on the top, the hot, or the white on the bottom, the neutral. When in actual fact, what you're going to be doing is putting 2 blacks on there. You're going to put your you're going to terminate the where the thing is going to, like in this case the fan over here on the top, and then you're going to put a hot lead at the bottom. And then what you do is just basically connect all your neutral whites together in here, and that will close the circuit. So it's actually 2 hots that are going to, the black is always hot, that are going to create the circuit that you open and close. I can't tell you how many times in life I've seen people do that backwards. So I got a little bit of a start yesterday, so I'm going to go ahead. Over here is a little more complicated because I need to combine both of these feeds here for the vanity and light. I need to make them one unit. So I'll be pigtailing. I'll be combining these two with a short length, putting a wire nut on it, and then running that short length over to a third switch here. Okay, so seems complicated, but you know, you do a couple dozen, 100 of these, and it's, you just knock them out and get them done. So stick with me today, and we're gonna have fun. We're gonna get this rat's nest straightened out over here. I finished up the wiring of the switches down here, and the next thing I wanted to do was temporarily hook up the power at the circuit breaker board, very temporarily, because I wanted to see if I had any obvious shorts that would chip the circuit breaker. And I'm happy to, good morning honey, I'm happy to report that the nothing tripped off and I have power to junction box. I'm going to go ahead and set the rest of this stuff here today, and then test it out and make sure it's ready to go. And we don't have any shorts and everything's very safe here, huh? You're happy wrapping up the electrical today. Yeah. See, okay, you're in your Spanish mode today. Okay. All right, check back with you. Next, I'm going to hook the GFI. Oh yeah, before I hook that up, I'm also cutting and removing some of the old wire just to get it out of the wall. Just snip these up here. This was the down feed, up feed for the socket. So what I want to do is snip them off, and then later I'll pull from the top and get rid of some of it. I just don't like old wiring laying in the wall, so I'll be removing a lot of that. Only take a couple minutes to snip that, and then I'll just remember when I'm up top side to pull those old electric feeds off. Alright, there's the GFI all set, and I like to do stuff sort of one step at a time. And you can see the little green light is on there, and I've tested it. I've got power running through there, so that's all good to go. Means anybody uses that for a hair dryer or something like that, if God forbid some water should get down there, travel down the cord and into there, that would immediately trip before it could do any bodily harm. So that's a good thing. I don't know what it is about Sundays, but they're always kind to me, and I like that. I've got all the switches secured down here. And I've gone to the circuit breaker panel and done a temporary hookup over there just to provide some juice so I could check the junction box here. And the last thing, I have to just roll over to the closet and check that, but I imagine that'll be good. So what I did was go around. I would flip the switch up like this one was for the vanity over here, and also for this this one room light right here for the vanity light underneath the mirror. And flip the switch on, flip the switch up to make sure I had power, and then I would check, yeah, it's on, and flip the switch off, power off. I did the same thing for the middle with the shower lights, the two shower lights back there, and that checked that good. And lastly, I checked the feed for the fan over there, and that checked good. So what I'm doing now is going around, and everywhere you have these wires behind your studs, you always want to make sure that you put the stud plate, protector plates on here, okay? This means if somebody ever goes to hammer something in or hang a picture, you never know what people will do. They won't be able to access that wood, and their screw or nail will not hit that wiring back there. So that's a really good thing. This one is so far recessed up here. As you can see, that's not necessary here, but I'm going around just making sure they're on. You see another one back there that's terrifically recessed and isn't really necessary, but you got to always do stuff the safe way. So I'm happy things are rolling along. I'm just going to go ahead and test the closet light to make sure we're getting power over there, okay? But not often you hit 100% with triple switch and all that, but did it. Alright, did the run from the closet. I did get my first, I hope the only shock today. I thought the power was off here, and I went to grab those two up and down the feed and then the out again, and woo, got zapped. But we got the closet set up for switching, and we've got that secured so it's very safe with wire nuts, so we won't have any short or fire risk until we get up the fixture. Next thing I've done is I've taken down that fan, and Jennifer has the outside, the fan wheel part, and it is positively filthy. So we're going to get this cleaned up. And you can also see up here when they talk, I always have to laugh when you hear about old world craftsmen. The outlet tube went all the way over here, but they just left it so it was going halfway up with absolutely no venting. They have some dick can on top of here. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a tin can on the side there, so I don't know what kind of screwed up deal that was, but I want to get the Sawzall and see if I can widen that a little bit so we get a better fit in here. Jennifer cleaned up the fan really well, and what I did was I put an adapter on the top of it because I had some extra plumbing. ABS plastic pipe stock I put on there, and it worked perfectly. Now from above it has a threaded connection. All we have to do is screw in about a 1 foot threaded end there, and then run some duct off the top of it, and we have a really nicely secured and done the right way venting system there. So that's back in place. It's running good. What I need to do now, we'll come over here to the be a little dark. I'll click the light on because I have the house power down, and I'll tell you what I'm doing now. I'm here on the panel. We're de-energized. I had it de-energized. I had it hot before, just temporarily grounded on there with the neutral down, and I've got the hot running over here. So what I want to do now is actually put that through the right way. I want to take this old one, which was the prior run up there. I'm going to remove that from here, and I'll probably pull up from above to get rid of it. And then route this down through the slot and put that down on the proper. We're going to put this in the #1 position on the right side. We always try to balance the load here on each side so we don't have pulling too much on this side and too much on this side. So we don't really have a lot of stuff that's pulling a lot of power in here, so it works out pretty good. I've never had a breaker trip, and today I was lucky I didn't have anything trip, so I can now move from the temporary power to making a more permanent screw down here on the board. Okay, alright, we got the power back on. We're all down in #1 position. We got our neutral down, and we got our ground down on the ground bar there. Remember, you can never put 2 feeds on one. Double tap a hot. You can double tap a ground, which I've done sometimes before. You can see I've pulled out the old feed. It was really a temporary feed. I'll try to remove that, pull that up and out in order to avoid any confusion up top side. There's already plenty up there of it. You know, it's perfectly good for the electrical code says you can just home run that stuff and lay it right on top of the ceiling there. So that's exactly what I did. So we're all done in the bathroom. I think we're going to call it a day. We've gone at it long and hard. You can see the fan is with working the switch here. Third position. The fan is a much better setup now. It's much better sealed. It's quieter. It's cleaner. And that should give a lot of wonderful service when we put the cover back on, spray paint the cover. Unless people think the old Montgomery Ward is kind of a collector's item thing. So everything checked out really good. I'm happy. I didn't have any electrical screw-ups today. All the switching works beautifully. And I think we're going to get it cleaned up and get on to alternate stuff. See, we now have power with an outlet there that works now. So we're all energized. So you're happy. Another major step today. And, right?
It's hot.
Hot as hell.
I was outside.
Sweating? Sweating like a piggy, huh?
Watering the tomatoes and stuff.
But you're happy today, right? We got the electrical done. When it comes time for finishing work, when we do the ceiling and all that, all we have to do is cut the 5-inch circles and put our lights up in there, our lights.
You're one step closer to being done.
One step closer to being done. All the electrical. We'll put the junction box cover on up there, but everything works beautifully. We've got the switch wired in for the closet, and later we'll pop the light on there. I have the protective chooches on the end so nobody accidentally shorts anything out or burst into flames or anything. So I only got one shock today. That was pretty good. So,
Instantaneous combustion.
Instantaneous combustion. So we're all good. So before you know it, we're going to be back probably next weekend. We're going to start putting up the rock over here. We'll do the wet wall, which is where all the water components are. They call this the wet wall in the shower. We'll probably get that hike in that glass block window, and that thing's a bear. You know, we got to be careful it just doesn't fall right out the other side. When we put it in frame, that's going to let a lot of light in.
I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna lay on that.
Oh man, don't catch that, honey. That'll crush your beauty right there. So, and slapping up the drywall, and that's you know, figuring out what we're going to do. We figured we'll have a low cabinet over here, which will be fine. Maybe one that's only at about 12 inches, and that'll be good. We can store toilet paper and other stuff in it. We'll probably put some chooch above the toilet, but I don't want a situation where stuff's falling down on anybody.
Just a little bit where we can put makeup stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And well, we're going to have on both sides, I want to put two. I want to try to see if I can find two stainless sort of cabinets on each side that have little doors you can open up, and one side can be yours and one side mine. We can put all our schmutz and stuff in there for beautification and everything. So we got to do that. So. Alright everybody, well, we're going to get to a little cleanup and organizational stuff. We're not going to be working Wednesday. We're going to be down in the city, which Jen has her follow-up doctor appointment down there. So we'll be back at it again next weekend. So I want to thank you for being here for the electrical stuff today, and being a wonderful audience as usual. So have a great afternoon. Your comments, critiques, questions are always welcome. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Murphy Girl here is saying, have a great Sunday afternoon.